Alright guys, welcome back. This is HD and I am bringing you guys game number 2 from the GameCom Plantronics tournament in Europe. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show so far, and here we are. It's time for the next TVT, and it is of course still Sjow and Satiini. And Sjow will be retaining the same color. He's the red Terran on the right hand side of the map, and the map is Metalopolis. And the top we do have Satiini. He's going to be the teal Terran. And I don't have too much to talk about Metalopolis. I already spilled most of the beans on the first map description, GSL Belshire Beach winter version. And unfortunately this map doesn't have any, new features or winterized version. I think this is the ESL version, which I don't really think has any differences from the normal version that most people use in North America. So not too much to talk about the map there. And most people already know this map inside and out, of course. Now, they have spawned next to each other by the skies, and that could make things a little bit interesting. The thing about Terran versus Terran, and this is especially true in the first few days of the, or first few months of StarCraft 2, is it revolved a lot around getting that quick starport out. You would see a lot of Viking play, Banshee play. Oh, hold that thought! Sjow here, not sticking to the standard style of TVT, is actually going to be proxying a barracks at the standard proxy location, of course, which is the gold zone. This is very, very interesting. and I'm not the kind of guy that would have thought Sjow would open up with some type of cheese. This could make things very, very interesting here. We'll have to see what happens. Now, of course, we'll see if that SCV goes over there to get the full scout or not. The Zelnaka Tower will not have enough range to reach over to that barracks. So even if Satiini were to drop by and take a peek and say hello to the tower, he will not be able to see the barracks, and he decides to forego that option anyways. So he is actually going to make his way into the main. Now, the thing is, upon going into the main, he should realize that there's something fishy going on. Definitely won't think it's some kind of a 15cc or anything like that, simply because the gas is already down. So he should know there's a hidden barracks somewhere, and with the gas that he saw coming out from that, he should know either it's going to be a tech lab or a quick proxy factory. So right now, it is definitely in Satiini's best favor to get a scout down. He's actually going to go ahead and build a bunker at the front door with the supply depot. Going to try to wall things off, realizing that there is an imminent threat abroad somewhere. And he has now saw the Zelnaka Tower, and while he couldn't have seen the barracks, he will see the tech lab. And if his timings are really, really good, Satiini might realize that, hey, that's not enough time for a factory to get up with the tech lab, so it's got to be a barracks. And he should know here some kind of proxy marauder play is coming. Now he's loaded up the bunker. Look at that timing. That's crisp, that's clean, and that is crunchy. Satiini, well done. And he will load up that bunker with 2 Marines. I don't think Sjow is going to be able to break through that. All the Terran has to do here, from a defensive standpoint, pull 5 SCVs or so. The more the better, really. And just wrap around that bunker, hug it like a brand new baby, and repair it all the way up. So I just don't think these Marauders are going to get their money's worth. But of course, the thing about Terran versus Terran, and this is what we're seeing a lot now in the style of TV anything, is a lot of proxy buildings, because you can lift it off, because you can bring it back. It's not that devastating of a loss. So here comes Sjow. He's actually going to attack the supply depot. He is going to bring it down to the orange, but not enough to put it on fire. 2 SCVs going to be called in from the local fire department to put that out. And the Marines coming out of the bunker, taking a couple of pot shots as well. That was cute. And those 2 Marauders are still pretty high HP, so they're going to continue taking pot shots here at the supply depot. But really, Satiini's just buying time here, because inside his main, he is going right for the starport. And I was making a mention about this earlier at the beginning of this game. Terran versus Terran still revolves around getting that quick starport, especially if they spawn right next to you. Love the play by Satiini. He comes out with the 5 Marines. He picks off the Marauders. And Sjow was just a little too bold with those 2 Marauders. He should have known, at some point those Marines, they're going to come out the ramp and they're going to get some revenge. Excuse me. So, yeah, Sjow losing his 2 Marauders is going to lose his tech lab. Wouldn't it be extra painful if Satiini decides to pull a MLG TLO and steal the add-on as well? That would be quite the antics. And Satiini might actually put this barracks on fire. No, he will not, as Sjow will make that way back home. Now, meanwhile, this is what I'm talking about, guys. In TV, anything really, proxying the building, it's not such a huge loss. Now, losing those 2 Marauders, it was much huger loss than, going for the proxy barracks in the tech lab, in my opinion. So, you know, he's not that far behind. He's a little bit behind, but he is going to have that starport of his own out in the sky, so he should be able to combat this Banshee with relative ease. He doesn't have that many Marines, though, and that is partially because he had a barracks floating in the sky for half the game. And right now he has a couple of Marines out on the ground. He should be able to ward this away. Has lost a few, well, maybe one SCV so far, so nothing too crazy. And Satiini here realizing, hey, that's not enough Marines. I can actually just take them out one by one. And he's going to bring it back for repairs as these 5 Marines go to work. And Sjow getting very bold with his Banshee. Don't want to make the same mistake that the Banshees made, because that's what's going to happen. A Viking will pop out. She should have realized that a starport was up. I'm not quite sure what Sjow's doing here. He should have realized, you know, there's a starport up because the Banshee was inside your base. That, you know, the follow-up is quite obviously going to be Vikings. And I'm just not too sure what Sjow's doing right here. He must have just slapped himself in the forehead right there. So, well, that's not good. Now he's going to try to go ahead and expand out of this. Command center going down at the right. That tech lab will be spotted. Let's see if Satiini decides to destroy it or occupy it. Occupy Tech Lab Street. Do it! Do it! No, he will not. So looks like he's going to go ahead and burn that down. Meanwhile, he's bringing in a Banshee, excuse me, and he's going to get a couple of shots on the SCVs. Very important here for Satiini not to lose it, because he can actually pick off a tank or two. But now the Viking comes out as well, and Sjow gets the Viking, gets the Banshee with his Viking. So, you know, all things considered, Sjow is doing a pretty good job macroing, and he's done a good job countering the Banshee. He hasn't lost a tank. All things considered, I actually think that this game is right down to the wire here. Satiini might hold a slight edge. We'll see what happens here as Satiini is making a push now. He has medevac support for his Marines as well, and he's about to finish Stim. That is one thing to note here, that because Sjow, you know, opened up with that proxy Marauder Bay, proxy barracks for Marauders, and all that gas was basically for naught. Satiini's got sizable upgrade advantage here. He's got the stim pack, he's got combat shields on the way, and he's got medevac support, whereas the Terran army doesn't. Sjow does not have stim pack here, and he's going to go in. He does have the tank advantage, but he's going to have to fall back. He takes a shot on those Marines. That is a very, very devastating shot, because he doesn't have any medevacs to repair or heal his Marines back up. So now he has the Viking advantage. He's going to bring the Vikings in. If he can pick off the 2 medevacs, he can slowly outsiege the enemy tanks of Satiini. And realizing that he's got the air advantage, going to go ahead and set up this tank just outside the range of that one. And if only he could kill off that medevac and maybe inch this tank a little bit closer and get the SCV on this Zelnaga tower, then he could actually kill off and start pushing back Satiini's tanks. It's a tall order, though. That's quite a bit of micro for any player, really. And it's just showing, you know, how demanding StarCraft 2 truly is, and a sport only for the most bravest of souls and most able minds. And Satiini now macroing quite a bit, getting 3 barracks, 2 reactors on his buildings, and he's bringing in a lot of Marines over to this focal point. And this is the focal point, ladies and gentlemen, as Sjow now is going to go ahead and leapfrog his things just a little bit closer, but failing to realize that there's an SCV on the Zelnaga tower, so he does not hold the range advantage. Despite that, though, he will kill off the tank, because that tank was already weakened. And now Satiini going in with everything. I don't know about this. This is very risky, but he's got Marine support and medevacs for the Marines, and it looks like the Marines should be able to punch through the metal and will get the tank and the Viking, and there's only 1 tank left. Yeah, Satiini realizing that he had too many Marines for Sjow to deal with, and just went right in there. And we might just have that little backstab play one more time here from Sjow. He's bringing in the 2 medevacs, but there is a missile turret there. Don't think that medevac is going to get in without taking a little bit of damage to its hull. And now Satiini is inside the main. Never a good sign for Terran player, as Sjow now has to drop off his Marines and bring the SCVs out to fight as well. That tank is in a fabulous position, just blockading the SCVs from getting out. They have to work the tank down first, and the Marines, meanwhile, just had a heyday inside the mineral line. Let's check the workers killed at a staggering 15 already in this game, and 51 SCVs over 29. So Satiini is doing a fantastic job so far of controlling and outplaying Sjow, really. So I don't know, there's really not much more to say, except Sjow has just been getting outplayed in this game. He might actually just lose another SCV too as a casualty of war. No, those Marines are just trying to hightail it back home. They will not make it back. But yeah, Satiini right now, the Teal Terran, in a very dominant position in this game, still holds control over the Xel'Naga Tower. And now securing the third expansion. Both players actually grabbing the third at a very similar time here. But Satiini just has so much power in the middle of the map. That siege tank is all important. His Marines have that 0-1 upgrade. Sjow actually has 1 additional armor though. So Sjow's not out of it yet, but he really needs to control the middle of the map, or at least gain some type of territory. Start to drop inside the main if he could, but there's too many missile turrets. I love the position of these turrets, really covering the front line in terms of any type of air attack. So that's just really good forethought by Satiini, and a very good defensive matrix there of missile turrets. And Sjow now going around the backside with a 2 medevac party with enough Marines to load inside those medevacs as well. He might be thinking about going for some kind of outside perimeter attack here, but there are 3 Marines here ready to wait, and they will see this impending attack. So I really feel like Satiini is just going to know this is coming. And now Sjow very wisely, I think what he tried to do there was just reveal a couple of Marines so that he wouldn't reveal his entire plan. But those Marines ran in and they got the full scout off. So now it looks like Satiini going to back off his forces from the middle of the map. That will leave the middle vulnerable to a potential counter here. But he's confident in his tank numbers to just bring a small squad of Marines back. And now all of a sudden Sjow realizes, okay, maybe I'll just pull back as well. So a little bit of chess on the board here as Sjow moves to E2, and then Satiini says knight to E5 and takes that down. So nice plays. Very, very, very cerebral game of StarCraft 2 right now, if you ask me. And the SCVs are coming over to populate the planetary fortress, just trying to get mining underway. You know, the real advantage, though, if you look on that income tab, the real advantage lies here in Satiini's income. He definitely has just about 30% advantage over Sjow in terms of economy, and that really does snowball as the game continues to progress. So the red Terran here, Sjow's gonna have to make something happen. He is gonna try to control the Xel'Naga Tower or delay for as long as possible. He has a nice concave, and he has the medevac support as well. Compared to only 1, he actually picks out the enemy medevac, but Satiini just has too many Marines, and that tank in the background might have helped out a little bit too. So very nice by Satiini. He controls both angles now of Metalopolis, the right side and the left side. And look at this, man. He is really extending that perimeter. That wall of missile turrets goes from the top right into tanks at the goal. That is just a magnificent layout for Satiini. He's just covering every possible angle, and really Sjow's only ability to attack here, maybe just to bring a medevac around the entire corner of the map and try to make something happen. And here comes Satiini. He is thinking about going for it here. Sjow is sieged up, and this is the beauty of Terran versus Terran. It's a matchup that relies a lot on defense, a lot on positioning, and the ability of your siege tanks. So it can really get into this kind of drawn-out warfare where both sides have to plan accordingly. They have to make sure their tank's in a good position. They have to make sure their Marines are locked and loaded, ready to go. And you know, it's just so many things that go into TVT. So it's a very methodical matchup here. And Satiini going around the backside, thinking now this is his opportunity to go for the blow. He's brought all of his tanks and Marines down south. Sjow is there to match him step for step, tick for tack, and thinking now that the tanks are unsieged as he brings in a medevac full, or at least to control the Xel'Naga Tower, but there is a tank still there. So Satiini intelligently leaving 1 tank, and that shuts down Sjow's whole little ploy right there. Trying to sneak a slight territorial advantage, although he will be able to pick off the Marines at the Xel'Naga Tower. So that was smart play right there. But here comes Satiini. Oh, he's bringing everything in. This could be a huge battle. It will be a huge battle. And it looks like Satiini's just got so many Marines that I think he could just straight up overwhelm the tanks. And he will overwhelm the tanks in just raw Marine numbers. And that is going to be the last tank down, and Satiini did not lose a single siege tank. That was really, really nice by the Teal Terran. And supplies reflecting 160 over 129. So Sjow isn't out of it yet. He has taken serious damage, but I don't know, guys. It's gonna take a lot for him to recover in this game. Maybe he could go for some huge bomb, because once again he finds himself with a lot of medevacs, just almost overabundance of medevacs, and it's not the way you want to go. I don't know, man. There's just so many medevacs that are just totally worthless right now. Granted, he did lose all of his Marines, but unfortunately, yeah, he's just going to get overwhelmed here. And Satiini going to go ahead and take that newfound liberty to claim an expansion over on the western portion of Metalopolis. And sieging up additional tanks here, dropping down the comsats as well to get vision on the high ground. Now going to supplement the comsat with the Marines on the high ground as well. Going to start to shell away at the production facilities of Sjow. And Sjow is going to lose yet another tank as his opponent continues to bring in more reinforcements. This is just looking terrible for the Red Terran. And Sjow here from Dignitas could just go down in 0-2 fashion, which means it will go to a third game. Oh, he brings in some Marines. Yeah, it will go to a third game. There's a GG. So this is it, guys. Sjow, pressure on the line. He's got to win the next game or he is going to be knocked out of GameCom Plantronics EU. And Satiini on the verge of going to the grand finals. He's just one game away. So we'll see what happens. This is once again a best of 5. Hope you guys enjoyed. Shout out to everyone on the stream and shout out to everyone on YouTube. I'll be right back with game 3.